Good evening and welcome to I'm Chris Parnell.
Reporting from Moscow.
Tbilisi.
Times Square.
May your dreams be your only boundaries in life.
It's like a truck with food and it can go anywhere.
Where we're from, there's no food trucks, so food trucks are kind of a thing for us. So we found some in Nashville we saw, and we ate there, and now we're over here in Memphis, we're eating them again.
The food truck is easily available. It's a quick way to pick up food. It's interesting. There's always good choices.
You get a selection. There's usually more than one, and you can get something different from each one.
And this is the first one I've been to. I mean, it's great. I like the fact that you can spend time with friends and then go eat outside.
Food trucks are wonderful because they allow you to be in a different environment and just eat on the go and enjoy the surroundings.
I like them because they come to my work, but I've never had a bad experience with a food truck. It's always really good food.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of GHS-TV's award-winning talk show, Crosstalk. I'm your host, Sarah Mayers. Each week in this time slot, we take a look at different issues, personalities, and events that affect you and our community. Memphis is known for its great restaurants, but over the past 5 years, a new type of eatery has popped up. We're talking food trucks. Here at the Dixon Art Gallery, every Friday, food truck owners come together and cook for Memphians. Later on in our show, we'll talk with Cara Flavor and a taste of Tennessee. But right now, let's see what Sushi Jimmy is cooking up for us in his food truck. Mr. Sin, thank you for coming on our show today.
No problem, thank you for having me.
Well, how did you come up with the sushi food truck?
Sushi, because I've been doing it all my life. I started off in high school as a freshman in high school and looked for a job, and I fell in love with doing sushi because I love art, and that's what got me involved with doing sushi, because sushi is such a artistic, food.
Mm-hmm. What about the food truck aspect of it?
Food truck, I got into the food truck industry because a lot of my friends wanted me to do a food truck, but at first I looked down at it because I always thought food truck was like a dirty place to work in, because I've always worked in a restaurant, in a high-end restaurant, and we're always clean. But food truck nowadays are really totally different. It's just a rolling kitchen, and when I found that out, I fell in love with it too. And I tried to start my own restaurant, but I couldn't afford it, because restaurant nowadays, you're spending at least $500,000 to get a real nice restaurant, and I don't have the kind of money. So we started off on a food truck, and we started off last year, and so far it's been rolling pretty good.
Well, walk us through your menu.
Our menu, we don't serve any large menu like a sushi restaurant does, but we do serve, we have special rolls. We have this new thing from the West Coast called sushi burrito. We serve that, and our style is more of an Asian fusion. Nobody in Memphis really serves real Asian fusion, so I thought it would be nice to bring Memphis something that, I did all my life, which is like a fusion. I merged Hispanic, American dishes, Japanese dishes, and Chinese and Korean dishes too, all together. And that's what makes our dish is so unique.
What are some of your most popular items on the menu?
Popular items, I would say like spicy crawfish nachos, kimchi fries as appetizers. We serve a lot of fried rice too. Fried rice is known as one of our best options on the truck. We serve a lot of sushi burritos now that the word's gotten out, so that's like the new thing now in Memphis. Sushi burrito is like a form of burrito. It's still sushi, but it's just a real big roll, and then cut it in half, eat it like a burrito. And that's the new thing right now on the market.
Well, Mr. Sin, what difficulties have you encountered owning a food truck?
The only thing difficult about it is just maintaining everything. Like generator is one thing. You have a new problem every day, and that's the good and bad thing about a food truck. Every day it's a new adventure, and I love it. I mean, I never regret it since the day I had it. I never traded it for anything.
Many people think that food trucks are health hazards. What would you tell people that think that?
I would tell people that food truck nowadays are very different. People are starting to see that nowadays. We have everything that a normal kitchen has. We have a vino hood, we have a flat iron grill, I have a char grill, I have a deep fryer. We have a 3-compartment sink and a hand sink just like a restaurant do. Believe it or not, my kitchen is a lot cleaner than a lot of these restaurants around here, people are scared to try it, but I try to introduce people and let people see what it's like, and people are starting to get it now. And that's why food trucks are getting so big nowadays, because the real chefs are the one who's rolling out there on the wheels, and the ones inside a restaurant or chain restaurants and stuff like that you go to nowadays are just, really unhealthy food that you're eating and all packaged.
What's it like cooking in such small proximities?
I'm used to that. In the restaurant, I'm so used to like small minimum time and pushing things out fast, because all the restaurants I work in are really, really crowded. So I'm used to that speed, we just get things out. And
where do you get your produce from?
I get it from the warehouse, the same warehouse that the restaurants get it from, like JFC. I get my fish from off the dock from Memphis, and then I get my Asian food from KTS and JFC, which is located down in Atlanta, Georgia.
How do you use social media to drive your business?
We use Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And what brought me a lot of business is my customer word of mouth, and that's how we show social media.
What future plans do you have for your food truck?
Right now, we are working on a second truck, but it won't be a sushi truck though, because I'm trying to bring something new to Memphis. We're going to do a Vietnamese fusion banh mi sub, which is going to be new in Memphis, because you can't really go to Memphis and get a Vietnamese sub for a good deal and which tastes good, and then you can't have it on a food truck. So that's what I'm trying to bring to Memphis, and my brother's going to help me manage that truck, and wherever the Sushi Jimmy truck goes, that truck goes with it. And then we're also trying to do a restaurant right now too. We have got positive feedback. We got a 4.9 rating right now on our Facebook, which I'm really happy. I don't believe anybody's perfect, so I'd rather take a 4.9 than a 5 stars. So that explains, nobody's perfect, but it explains that my food's pretty good too, and every time I feed the customers, they always tell me it's good, and you're gonna get a little bit of bad feedback, but that's what makes me a better chef,
Well, Mr. Sin, thank you so much for coming on to our show today.
No problem, thank you for having me.
Well, let's take a look inside your food truck and see how you prepare your food.
Go. Hey guys, I'm gonna make you guys a sushi burrito today. We're gonna make a special sushi burrito, which has crawfish, cucumber, shrimp tempura, avocado, a little bit of crunchy, sriracha, spicy mayo, and rice seasoning. All right, let's get started. Get your bit of rice on the seaweed. Place your rice on the seaweed. Let's get your avocado. Got your fresh cucumber here, just freshly peeled. And we got some spicy crawfish here. And some shrimp tempura. Then you put some sriracha. And spicy mayo. And crunchy. Then we roll it up. Get your wax paper. there you have it, sushi burrito. All right, guys, we're gonna make a Los Angeles roll, which got me started, and this is one of the most seller on our truck. So let's get started. You got your seaweed, and you got your sushi rice. Flip it over. You got your fresh cut cucumbers, your crawfish, spicy crawfish, and then your shrimp tempura. Roll it up. All right, bamboo. Make sure everything's tight. There you go, we have our imitation crab stick. All right, and we have our avocado, thinly sliced. All right, and we have our saran wrap. Make sure everything is cut. And I usually cut it about 10 to 12 pieces. And we plate it. And we have her here, eel sauce. Eel sauce is just like a thicker version of soy sauce. A lot of people think it's made out of eel, but it's really not. It's spicy mayo. All right, you got your rice seasoning. You got your crunchy. Got your fish egg. Yeah, you got your chives. Real thin cut. Put it on top. All right, and here you have it, the famous Los Angeles roll from Sushi Jimmy.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful
GHS-TV has a new website. You can now view any of our shows on our new media pages. Or check out the latest Wake Up Germantown or Red Devil postgame. As always, we're streaming live 24/7. Just visit ghstv.org today.
This week we were talking about what it's like to own and operate a food truck. I sat down with the owners of Carrot Flavor to talk about their Caribbean influences. Mr. and Mrs. Paul, thank you so much for coming onto our show.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
Well, you are known for your Caribbean flavors. How did that come about?
Well, first of all, there was a need for Caribbean food. There was none in Memphis. And being from Trinidad, I decided it's time we had Caribbean food.
Well, you're from Trinidad. How did you end up here in Memphis?
This was actually a coincidence. I was living in New York, heading to California. And I stepped off here to visit some friends I had. And I'm still here 29 years later.
Well, your food is mainly curries, which people think of Indian food when they think of curries. Is that also a typical Caribbean cuisine?
Yes. Actually, the Caribbean has a very large East Indian influence. And most of our dishes come from East India. The curries. More than 50% of the population in Trinidad now, they are East Indians.
Ms. Paul, how did you guys get in the food truck business?
How did we start the food truck business? When I met him 29 years ago, he took me to Brooklyn, New York, and I had my first chicken roti. And I said, I must bring this to Memphis one day.
How did you get involved into cooking?
You grew up in Trinidad. We do lots of cookouts by the river, the beaches. We do lots of cookout. And so you learn from a young age, from your parents, your grandparents, and then you take it out with your friends and we all cook on the river.
Well, what difficulties have you encountered owning a food truck?
Actually, it was very easy for me. I have some background in construction, so it wasn't hard to put it together. And then the food, well, it wasn't difficult for me at all.
Well, most people think food trucks are health hazards. What would you say to somebody that thinks that, to get them to come to your food truck?
Actually, that's a misconception. Our scores from the health department has always been 100. Most of the food trucks in the Food Truck Alliance, they're in the high 90s or 100s. We take a lot of pride in the food trucks and in how we prepare the food. So there's a lot of care in handling the food.
Well, Ms. Paul, tell us a little bit about your menu.
Okay, it's exciting. I learned a lot about cooking all the Caribbean food in the last 29 years. We got stewed oxtails on the menu that we just added on about 2 weeks ago. We have curry chicken. We have curry goat, which is one of our #1 seller. And then we have curry chicken, curry chickpeas. The jerk chicken combo. We just added jerk wings on the menu. So a lot of the menu stuff on the menu is very unique, and it's all made with natural herbs, and I am the main chef on all of this.
What is some of the best dishes on the menu in your opinion?
The jerk wings and the curry goat are our 2 hottest sellers. I was kind of skeptical at the beginning to bring out goat. Okay. And once people started trying it, there's a lot of people in the South that loves goat, and we could not keep enough goat on the truck. It sells quite a bit.
It's just like a saying that we leave the house without goat.
The jerk wings we just added about 3-4 weeks ago, and that has become very popular.
Well, you have quite a large menu. How do you make all that in such a confined space?
Experience and wit. It's not very difficult. The preparation is more with the marinating all the food. All our foods, all the meats, we marinate with natural herbs and spices. And so you learn to cook fast and move around each other, getting your food together in the food truck.
Well, where do you get your produce from?
Some from here in Memphis at
Restaurant Depot,
and from Atlanta. We make a lot of trips to Atlanta to get stuff that is lacking here in Memphis.
How do you use social media to drive your business?
Facebook and Twitter. I'm always on Twitter and Facebook, posting where we're going to be and what we have on the menu.
What future plans do you have for your food truck?
That's a good question.
All right, we have sort of expanded to Atlanta from the mobile to the water. So we just bought a houseboat in Atlanta that we're going to be doing charters and having the menu on the houseboat in Atlanta also.
Well, what do you think, lastly, is so special about your food truck?
Because it's family owned, and we put a lot of love in it, and we work hard together to get it to this point. And it's just a lot of physical
It's the
love
only
in it.
one in Memphis, and it is very popular.
It's very popular.
Thank you so much for coming on to our show, Mr. and Mrs. Paul.
Thank you for having us.
We would love to go into your food truck and see how you prepare your food.
All right, I'm finna get ready to do one of our stewed oxtails and potatoes, which is one of our hot sellers. We just put it on the menu about a month ago. And I'm gonna do it with steamed rice and stewed oxtails and potatoes. Here you go. We're gonna put rice in here. That's good. Then we're gonna put a fried plantain on this dish, which is one of our hot sellers that we sell as an appetizer. And then I'm gonna pour this stewed oxtails on right on top of there with the stewed potatoes and oxtails. Don't that looks good? It is one of our hottest sellers, stewed oxtail and potatoes on steamed rice. Voila. I am finna get ready to make a chicken roti. This is our Caribbean bread, which is called roti, that's made with daiquiri with split peas inside the dough. I'm gonna take it over here and put some curry potatoes inside of it. Curry potatoes inside of it. put my tray. These are my curry potatoes. Then I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna put my curry chicken inside of it. This is my curry chicken. Then I'm gonna take it back over here and wrap it. It's a meal within itself. It's all made with natural herbs in it. If you're a bread eater, this will be a very good dish. It's a meal within itself. I take it and wrap it and serve it.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will live as one.
As the popularity of food trucks grow, more demand is being put on them. I sat down with the owners of Taste of Tennessee to talk about their food truck. Mr. Lewis, thank you for being on our show today.
You're quite welcome.
Well, your food truck has a broad menu, but you focus on barbecue as well. Why?
Well, my main interest when I decided to go into the food truck business was breakfast. I'm one of the very few food trucks that has breakfast. I'm the only one that I actually know of that has a breakfast menu, and I have a full breakfast menu. And barbecue is just a sandwich of the South. I mean, everybody loves barbecue, so I had added that to my menu, and I have hamburgers and cheeseburgers, hot dogs, chili dogs, smoked sausages. I have barbecue bologna. It's just, my customers know that if they want something, they can ask me, and if I have the makings for it, I will fix it.
What sparked the breakfast idea?
Well, I'm an early morning person, and I love breakfast myself. So and I knew that if I had to have a niche, breakfast would be a good niche. And because, like I say, there's no other trucks in Memphis that has breakfast. And we have a wonderful breakfast business here. We're here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we go to St. Jude. We're on their campus down there.
Well, barbecue is not new to Memphis. How do you keep your barbecue unique?
Well, I just smoke mine old country fashion with, I use white oak and hickory to smoke with, and people just enjoy it and like it.
How did you get involved in the food truck business?
I've always loved to cook, and I've done a lot of cooking throughout my life. I wanted to do it 4 years ago, but you know, I had a steady job, a steady paycheck coming in, and they was just getting started, and I was afraid to take that step. And then finally I decided to take that step, and here we are.
What difficulties have you encountered along the way?
Just really there's none other than a few impatient customers that have got tired of waiting. But there again, you go to a restaurant, you're gonna wait. Even at McDonald's, you're gonna have to stand in line and wait for a few minutes. And at one point, my helper started in January. I opened my truck in September, and I ran it by myself up until January, and it was about to kill me. I couldn't wait on my customers properly, and I couldn't fix the food. It was just too much for one person.
Well, you've almost had your food truck for a year. What feedback have you gotten from your customers?
They all comment on my burgers. They say, "You've got the best burger in town," and so I appreciate that.
Well, where do you get your produce from?
My tomatoes come from the Restaurant Depot. My lettuce, because Restaurant Depot doesn't have heads of lettuce, I get it from Kroger, because I go through just about 1 head of lettuce a day.
How do you use social media to drive your business?
We on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're signed up with 901 Memphis. I don't know who all my employee has been instrumental in getting us on all of that. And our menus are on Facebook, Taste of Tennessee LLC, and just we've got all kind of. Matter of fact, I was really surprised. I got a message the other day that Corky's was following us on Twitter. So I said, well, one of the best barbecue places in Memphis is following us.
Well, one last question. What future plans do you have for your food truck?
Just making my customers happy and satisfied. And I just plan on continuing enjoying doing it because I love it.
Well, thank you so much for coming on our show today.
Well, I appreciate you asking.
Well, let's take a look inside your food truck.
Okay, thank you. I'll get my meat out of the freezer. And place it on the grill. The meat takes a few minutes to cook because it's coming out of a negative 10-degree freezer. But when we have a large crowd that start gathering for our lunch, I load the grill down with burgers, and that way they can be cooking, and my customers don't have to wait that long. They all love the burgers. They say they're juicy, good tasting. Now I'll dress the bun while the cheese is melting on the meat, and we have one completed cheeseburger. Another favorite of people's, barbecue nachos. We sell a lot of those, and it start off with the nacho chips, and then we add the pulled pork on top of that, and we have the nacho cheese and the barbecue sauce that goes on top. We also offer jalapeno peppers on the side. People really enjoy them.
I'd like to thank all of my guests for being on our show today. The food truck boom started in 2008 when the economy started to tank. Restaurant owners use food trucks as a less expensive way to sell food. I hope you make it down to Tiger Lane next year for the 2017 Food Truck Festival. I'm Sarah Mayers, and from all of us here at GHS-TV, thank you for watching Crosstalk, and I hope to see you again.